What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So I finally just went ahead and said screw it. After 28 hours in this game, I still have not really gotten anywhere in terms of progression, and they really want me to go back and play as Atreus for the third time. Now, I don't know, man. The moment I saw this, I was like, man, you guys have got to be kidding me with having me try to come and play as this character. Now, if you look here at my progress, I'm basically halfway through in terms of like achievements or whatever it is. At 17 out of 36 is what it says. 28 hours of play. A lot of those hours, about 23 or so of those hours, has been on the Give Me No Mercy difficulty. I finally had to just go back and say, you know what? There is almost no need. If I'm not like GBG or SMVR or Sun High Legend or some of the folk that play God of War at the highest difficulty and have the highest skill level in the game, it just is not useful for me to be playing the game and bothering myself, because the story beats kind of they take away and break the immersion from what I, as a gamer, I'm wanting to achieve in this particular game. I think this is where a game like Elden Ring really does beat God of War and trounce it. Presentation-wise, God of War is wonderful. Story-wise, the story is great. But when you mix in your game and your story, there has to be a balance between both of them. And as much as this game is getting a lot of popularity, and as much as I respect the developers and the whole process of game development more than anyone else that or at least there's one person I actually talk with that appreciates game development just as much as I am, is another content creator whom we kind of started out learning game development together, and he's making his own video game. So when we sit down and talk about video games, like, we're talking about it, and we want to send gifts to developers for the feats that they've actually pulled off. This is one of those games. But then at the same time, I think I got ruined earlier this year with another whole design paradigm. Now, this does not mean you can't like both games. This does not mean that, you can't like elements of a certain game. When you actually rate God of War Ragnarok on a scale and you want to rank every single element in 10 out of 10, you're going to find out that maybe it's just going to be one thing that you're not going to be able to rank a 10 out of 10. And for me, it's still the pacing. Apparently, the pacing became more of an issue than I envisioned it to be. And some of you have said, maybe if you just played the story and, not focus on the side missions. But when you're playing the game at a higher difficulty, that's where the challenge comes in, to not focus on the side activities, because the side activities actually make you stronger. The side activities grant you more XP. The side activities, grant you even more possibilities to be able to finish up your skill tree. Look at Atreus' skill tree, already done. If you go to I don't have Kratos right now because apparently that file, if I go to my Kratos save file, or let me see if I can find a save file for you guys here. Let me save this manually. I think I already did save it. If I go ahead and I check out, basically quick game, and I show you basically an old save file that I have, maybe not the oldest, you're going to see that for the most part, I've been getting a lot of work done, man. Let me see. Where are we going to come? Let's see if we can find something in Vanaheim. So that you guys can, basically check out my progress. And you're going to see that, Kratos is actually buffed up. In fact, he's way more buffed up in my current save file, but I'm just having to play Atreus right now. I've already almost maxed out one of my sets, which is huge. That's not something I ever did. Let me see. Yeah, okay. Here he is. Armor. Yeah, I have this armor at level 8 and level 8. This is something that I've never done in a God of War game on my first playthrough. I've been busy. My skill tree, I have enough XP. I remember here I had enough XP to basically max out some of this stuff for my spear, but my my Blades of Chaos and my Leviathan Axe are almost fully maxed on this save file. But on the main file, I think it's basically just a few less to basically finish up. And so I've been really working hard to get, Kratos as strong as possible, because when you meet enemies in the harder difficulty, you actually have to be strong enough to be able to take them on. Else you're just going to be spending a lot of your time working way harder than you actually need to work. So I think from a game design perspective, where the 2018 game really does win it for me is the 2018 game allowed for the perfect balance between both gameplay and the story and the narrative and all of those different things. I hope I haven't wiped that save file, but what does it matter? Around this time, I think I'd already switched to the give me a story mode, and I was just beating everything because, I was like, well, I guess I'm going to focus on the story. It doesn't really matter anymore if I'm going to be running around getting side missions, getting stronger, dealing with enemies, then I have to still slug my way through story beats that are not really appealing at the moment right now. But it is what it is. It's one of those things where, as a gamer, you got to really just go back and look and say, I, I don't want to sound spoiled, but these are my thoughts. These are my opinions. They're not going to be the most popular, but it is what it is. It's a $70 game. And so if they have too much game here, I don't want to be the guy that's complaining about too much game, but I also want to say that, in comparison with other sets of video games that we've played, we have to ensure that video games are not afraid to be video games, rather than have a lot of these different elements that, honestly, what they add to the game could also be added to the game if done in a much more measured way. But I'm going to go ahead and finish the game, and I want to see what this story is about. Now, if the payoff actually is worth all of this, then I'm willing to go back and say, you know what? It was all worth it in the end. But for now, this experience has not been the experience that I actually anticipated or expected. Still an 8.5 to 9 out of 10 game nonetheless, though. I would have given it a 10 instantly, but this has just been the biggest challenge for me so far. But I'll talk to you guys later. I'll keep you guys posted. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching the video. I really appreciate you guys' time and audience, and hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one.